we are all seeking for. In business, that can be hard to find, especially when traveling overseas as a foreigner. I've always been a fan of how Japan takes pride in the respect given and received, and how politeness plays a key role in the day-to-day lives, especially in business setting. Through my extensive research and readings, I've found some helpful tips that I would like to share to make your next business trip to Japan easier. As business etiquette in Japan does not differ so much than what is practiced here in the US, there are some distinctions that you are to pay attention to. I am here today to tell you about some major differences to help you on your next visit. First, I will give you a brief overview of Japan. Second, I will explain the communication behaviors and how they differ from the US. And finally, I will share with you a brief story that's happening in Japanese news today. Let's begin with a brief overview. When traveling overseas, it is critical to familiarize yourself with some of the country's features and political structures. Japan's land structure is mostly mountainous, with the larger cities along the coastline. Although Japan is smaller than our state of Montana, it has a population of 126 million, compared to Montana's 910,000. While Japanese is the official language, English is mandatory to be taught in grades 5, 6, and secondary schools, and is also used while conducting business. According to the 2019 Culturegram's Online World Edition entry on Japan, in the section Government, unlike the US, Japan has a constitutional monarchy with a preliminary government and will have a head of state and a head of government. Currently, Emperor Akihito is the head of state, and although he does not have any governing power, he is well respected by the Japanese people. The true governing power is in the hands of the head of government, which is Prime Minister Abe Shinzo. Now that we have an overview of Japan, let's discuss the communication behaviors and business etiquette. While being polite is always a given in Japan, getting the respect deserved will be according to your role or rank in society. This comes down from the way you dress to the way you greet each other. According to the 2019 Hofstede Insights website entry for Japan's country comparison under power distance, Japan has a borderline hierarchical society, and Japanese are severely conscious about their standing in social and business settings and will act accordingly. In business, foreigners will experience this hierarchical to be slow in the decision-making process. Business decisions will not be confirmed until it has been confirmed by each hierarchical layer, not just by the mind at the top. We, as visitors, must respect this process and be patient when conducting business in Japan. According to the 2019 Culturegram's Online World Edition entry on Japan, in the section Personal Appearance, business wear in Japan is also similar to that of here in the US. Businessmen will wear suits and ties in public. Women will typically wear pantsuits and blazers with skirts accompanied by stockings or knee-high stockings. Showing bare leg is unacceptable. While visiting, it is also important to take accustom to the greetings, gift givings, and offerings. When greeting, it is customary to greet with a bow. The lower the bow, the more respect you have for the other person. This is generally practiced between Japanese people. As foreigners, this may or may not be accepted, so a handshake is more appropriate. Gift giving, especially in business, is important. It shows the respect the giver has for the receiver, and it will also set the tone for the meeting. Typical gifts will include cakes, fruits, or drinks, and when giving and receiving, it is appropriate to give and receive with both hands out and a slight bow. It is customary in a business setting for the host to offer a beverage like tea or coffee. When offered, it is polite to accept. You do not have to drink the whole beverage, but to take a sip, it is always polite. So far, we have covered Japan's background and Japanese business etiquette. Lastly, let's discuss the current event. In an article written by Jason Plainfield and Yuko Takiyo, titled "Japan has a new guest worker program, just don't call it an immigration policy," published on February 26th of 2019, it states that a new plan will give a 5-year residence permit to about 345,000 low-skilled workers. According to the article, there will be a 23% decrease in labor force in the next 25 years. For example, in the caregiver industry, the government predicts that over 550,000 workers will be needed by 2025. To solve these issues, Prime Minister Abe Shinzo has pushed for a new visa program that will help fill these much-needed jobs. The visa granted will be for unskilled guest workers to help fill the jobs that most Japanese do not want to do while keeping industries running, and giving immigrants a chance at a new life in a new country. To conclude, let me review what we've covered today. Today I share the differences in business etiquette between Japan and the US. I briefly told you an overview of Japan and the communication behaviors and what is going on in recent news. I leave you today with a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson that states, "Every human being of whatever origin, of whatever station deserves respect. We must respect others even as we respect ourselves." In business, respect can lead you in the right direction, especially overseas. I hope that you learned that today. Thank you.